Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Perry Flips on Instagram with a Z. Pothead Picker on X or Twitter. Flips and Giggles on Facebook. That's the Facebook page. And then I know a lot of different names. It's just kind of how it happened. And then all episodes now available on YouTube. You can get them all on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcasts. It's available now. So make sure you subscribe, like, tell a friend, and share. So, I was just about to talk about something. I just started talking about I just got into the intro, and then it's like it pops into your head real quick, and then you're trying not to forget one thing, but. Anyway, it's looking like another rainy weekend. Let me see if I've got a Facebook Marketplace person coming soon, so they're supposed to come around 1, but half the time they show up either early or late. I don't even know what the fuck this thing even is. Anyway, I'll get to that after. It's not the person who's supposed to be coming. It's somebody else. People always reach out to you on Facebook Marketplace and then they disappear. There's memes and shit all about it, but it just does happen. I do it myself. You know what I mean? You send a message and then they take forever to get back to you or something comes up and you're just and by the time they get back to you, it's just I don't even really feel like responding to you right now. Or I save it so I can remember to get back to them and then I forget. So I'm assuming that's what happens. Plus, I think Facebook's messaging system is, again, I feel like every week I'm talking about how shitty the Facebook platform is, but a lot of times I won't get messages. If somebody messages me and then I get a second message from them, I won't see any notification, and then I'll just have messages sitting there. It really is annoying. But yeah, it's supposed to be raining again this weekend. It was raining. Well, there's the threat of rain on Saturday, but it really didn't rain, but it was enough to scare all the people away from doing sales. So I'm hoping that this isn't an indication of how the summer is going to go. I keep getting lucky with finding stuff. It would be nice if I could get volume, you know what I mean? I just keep finding a handful of things here, a handful of things there. But it's nice when you can get a lot of stuff, because then you can get more stuff listed and more stuff sells. I listed a bunch of new old stock t-shirts yesterday. I'll talk about the whole find in a minute, and I got them listed, and by this morning 3 of them had sold. One package sold for $40. It was a 3-pack t-shirt, but or a 3-pack of t-shirts, but it still sold pretty quick for $40. I think it was $2 a piece I got those for. So I've already, just based on 3 t-shirt sales alone, I've already made all of the money back that I spent at that one sale. And that wasn't even the best find at that sale. So it's been all right. I mean, I've been, I'm not struggling, but mentally it's I talked about the highs and lows of reselling a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, but it's you when you're doing well, you're fuck, man, I'm the man. I fucking love this shit. I'm crushing this shit. And then when you're after a day of not selling shit, you're oh man, what the fuck am I doing? I need to get a real job. You start weighing man, if I got a real job, then what? And it's no, dude. It's not worth it, because the amount of money you spend on childcare, the amount of money I'd have to pay to have my kids watched, it just wouldn't even make sense. I mean, I'm doing fine as far as finding stuff. I know a lot of people complain that Marketplace has kind of taken some of the yard sale money away, which I think it might have. I mean, that's fair to say. Everybody has access to Marketplace. I see more and more boomers using it. They treat it like they treated Craigslist. You know what I mean? A lot of boomers used to use Craigslist a lot, and now they'll use Facebook. But I mean, I don't see how. The other thing too is it takes forever for stuff to sell sometimes. You know what I mean? It's if it's just sitting there for a while, you're just oh, So I don't know. it's tough sometimes. Is it actually like cutting into yard sales? Probably a little bit, but I mean, I'm still finding stuff. The weather is the major factor. It's been like every Saturday. It's like nice during the week, and then the Saturday's coming up, and it's like impending weather. Right now, I think it's sitting at 80% chance of rain. And there's like a bunch of neighborhood sales, and we're supposed to go out of town Saturday, and so we're going like out to Western Mass, which is a few hours away, but I'm sure the weather, I don't know if the weather might be better there. It's probably better there. Like you can go, obviously different places in the state and the weather's a little bit better sometimes. So I'm like, if the weather's better there, it's going to be like, sales will be happening Saturday and I'm going to be there Sunday getting nothing. So this weekend could potentially fucking really suck dick. I'm really hoping this rain turns around. There's a couple of estate sales that are happening that are like private estate sales, but none of them have any of the things listed that I want. So you never know. We'll see. You never know how the weekend's going to go. I haven't had a weekend where I'm done early. You know what I mean? Like I remember 2 summers ago, it was like every other weekend I was going home early because I had spent all my money and my car was full. And by like 8:39, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm done with this. Now like I'm driving around till fucking noon, 1 o'clock trying to find the, a sale to fucking salvage the day. So I don't know. Maybe it's fucking tougher. I don't. Maybe the weather probably doesn't really help. But I'm not really too worried about it. There's still plenty of places to get inventory. The other thing too is every once in a while, I used to do it more, but I would post like, hey, looking for stuff to buy and sell, and I put that I'm selling it on eBay, and every fucking time somebody comes to me with like, this lady like messaged me back. She's like, I have this stuff that I'm trying to sell, and it's like junk. I'm like, did this sound like any of the stuff I was asking for? Like, and then people reach out to me with stuff I really want. There was one guy, he reached out, he didn't even leave a comment, so I know nobody like reached out to him, but he's like, hey, I've got a bunch of toys, when I get home from work. I'm like, all right, perfect. That was like a week and a half ago. So I send a gentle reminder like, hey, any update on those pictures for those toys? Nothing. Fucking crickets. So I don't know. That's the dumbest ways, because I always put like, I'm buying this to sell this on eBay, and then they're going like, they want more money than it goes for on eBay. I'm like, how does that make any fucking sense? Like, where are you getting this number from? And then they get like butthurt when you tell them that you're not going to give them the money that they want. I had one guy send me a bunch of pictures of like comic books, and I didn't even ask him what he wanted for them because they weren't that great. They were like, a bunch of fucking nonsense books. So it's like, yeah, you're going to want too much for them. You're going to want like $1 a piece for them or some just fucking crazy shit. Which is like, people think that's a reasonable number, but it's like when you're talking about comic books, it's really not. It's a lot of 25-cent books. And, comic book collectors don't want to pay out the ass for old, shitty comic books. They're just not going to. There's a big like comic book yard sale this weekend, but it's like 3 or 4 different like comic book guys or companies, it looks like. Maybe LLCs that are doing it. So, I mean, there's probably like some deals to be made. But I just like buying boxes of comics books at like yard sales and going through them. I've never found anything that's like not once. I found like a few cool keys, but like I've never bought a bin of comic books and just found like some wild shit. Most of the comics that I have that are worth money, I either bought on eBay back in the day, or I was like, for a while I was doing every week. I would do Midtown Comics, I think it's called. I think they're out of New York, but they would just like, you could go every week and do your comic book pull list, and they would just fucking ship you comic books to the house. And so I was doing that all the time. It's like $3.50 a comic, you know what I mean? Some of them are a little bit more. But like I have a couple that are pretty valuable that because a while I was playing the game, you know what I mean? And that was before I had kids. I could do multiple things. But now when I have children, it's like, I'm trying not to stretch myself too thin. I'm a man who wears many hats. Speaking of fucking hats, dude, I'm like there's like, it's not like a bald spot, but like there's definitely some thinning going on in the back of my head. And like my hairline is, it's obviously starting to go back. I still have like, good hair. But I never knew how to take care of my hair because I'm half Puerto Rican. And my mom's white. And so she just never knew. Like, so I had like this fucking hair that would be like, I tried to grow it out once a few years back. And it looked fucking horrible, dude. I don't know how my wife still makes fun of me. I'm like, you fucking dated me. Like, you were with me together, like, claiming me. And you're sitting here making fun of my fucking hair. Like, but I didn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? So I just grew it and grew it and grew it. And I like combed it, but I didn't know to put like leave-in conditioner. I didn't know any of that shit till I had a daughter with like curly hair. And I'm like, well, I don't want her to look like a fucking I did. So I'm like looking into it and we're like finding shit and like, so we put like curly shit in her hair. And so I'm like, all right, let me start putting that shit in my hair. And so my hair's starting to get like the natural curls and shit. But I just have this fucking bald spot. I'm like, do I get some fucking shit? Like try it out. But then I'm like, I don't want to be part of one of those commercials, like those old mesothelioma commercials that pop up and be like, did you try this hair restoration product back in 2025? You might be eligible for compensation. And then I was just like some weird form of cancer from using fucking hair restoration shit. But I'm also like, man, I just want to let it go. But then I don't because I have hair. Like I do have hair. It doesn't look bad. Like when I style it, it doesn't look bad. At least I don't. My wife tells me it doesn't. But I'm like, do I keep growing it or do I just buzz it down and fucking? Because if I like shave, if I did like a crew cut, like a fucking, is that what they call it? Is that what a buzz cut, crew cut? What did they used to call that fucking? A whiffle. Yeah, dude, they used to call it a whiffle. That must have been a New England thing. But when you used to go and get your hair like cut all the way down to the bottom, like just buzz without like shaving it bald, I'm pretty sure they used to call that a whiffle cut. I don't think they do anymore. But I'm pretty sure they used to call it a whiffle cut. Let me make sure that's because I really. Oh my God, my wife always asks me these fucking questions. Whiffle cut. I'm trying to figure out whiffle. Yeah, it is, dude. It's a thing. A whiffle cut, also known as a buzz cut, is a hairstyle that's typically achieved using hair clippers and is characterized by the hair being cut to a uniform length all around the head. Why is it called a whiffle cut though? Whiffles. It's way less effort. Yeah, that's got to be. It's got to be a Boston thing, because I've never heard it called a whiffle cut anywhere other than Boston. Oh damn, my neighbor's been texting me. He's been wanting to open up cards and shit, or like buy cards, and so he texted me like earlier today, and he had like a little box of old, it looks like all junk cards, but I didn't have the heart to tell him. So he's like, maybe this will scratch the itch for cards. And so I looked and I'm like, oh, that's probably just enough to get you hooked. And he just texted me now. He's like, I got a few packs of Magic cards and Pokemon cards. He knows nothing about either. So that's funny. He's going to be fucking obsessed. I want to see what he's got. What kind of Pokemon? Let me see. What sets did you grab? Let's see what he fucking says. Yeah, my Pokemon card addiction has kind of like waned a little bit. I got a really good Blastoise recently. Like, I think after I said the last time, I was like, oh, I'm done with Pokemon cards. I found a pack of 151. And like, if you're not familiar with Pokemon cards, like the 151 set is essentially like the original Pokemon. That's what I got from it. That's what I just came up with that myself, just based on the cards that were coming up. It was like it was all the original Pokemon. So I knew all the Pokemon that were there. So I was like, this is fucking awesome, because like this is what I grew up on. I love the original Pokemon. Once it got past that, like this, maybe the second set of new Pokemon, I'm cool with some of them. But once it got past that, it was like, okay, there's way too many fucking Pokemon. But the 151 said I found a pack, and like I hadn't got opened a pack ever of that stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna grab a pack, one pack. So I grabbed the one pack, brought it back to the house, and I opened it up, and I got like a really one of the more valuable Blastoises in the set. It's a really sick card, like perfect condition. So I threw it up all together. I'm gonna get it hopefully graded soon. I keep meaning to go there to get it graded. I went in a couple weeks ago to get it graded, and it was I think this was before I got that. No, it must have been after, because I had multiple cards that I was going in with, and so I went in and oh no, I only had the 2 cards. That's right. Because I have 4 that I'm bringing in to get graded. And so I went in and it was like the day Switch was coming out. I went to go get my shit graded, and it was the day the Nintendo Switch was coming out. So it was like a fucking huge line. And the guy was talking about how he got there earlier for his shift, because he's been there all day, obviously, on like the release days. You know, you got to be there for fucking however long for X amount of time when you got stuff coming out. And he was like, the line was like down the fucking block. And of course I show up there like, I'm going to get these Pokemon cards graded. And they're like, who's here to get the Nintendo Switch? Like, all right, who's not here for that? And like, just me. He didn't take me extra though. He just was like, all right, you're going to have to wait, bro. Ooh, sorry, I just ripped ass. I didn't even thinking about the fact that I was recording. Definitely got picked up on that mic. If not, I'll be surprised. Somebody's coming here soon to pick up a mic stand or a music stand. I got it for free, like in a bunch of stuff a while ago. That's the best thing about free stuff, because it's just like it'll just sit there, and then eventually you'll get somebody who's like, hey, can I have that? And you're like, fuck yeah, I got it for free. $20 in my pocket, especially when it's cash money. I started breaking down a couch. I have this fucking couch. That storage unit, man. That last storage unit I got really fucking sucked. I finally eventually sold the tools. So I think I got $40 for the tools. I got another $15 for this piece of shit vacuum. So it was like, what, $55? Spent $75 on it. And yeah, I mean, I've got a few things that are in like the yard sale pile, so I'll definitely sell, like, you know, maybe I might make my money back just based on the stuff that's in the yard sale pile, even if I sell it at $1 a piece. You know what I mean? But there's like a few things in there that'll definitely sell at my yard sale. But now I've got this fucking couch, so I'm like, the other day, because it's been on my trailer, so I'm like, I can't go pick new shit up. Not like I found a bunch of shit to pick up anyway. But the other day it was nice, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to fucking deal with this couch. Because there's no way, the way our town is fucked up. Like, you can't take a couch anywhere, pretty much. You have to pay somebody to take care of it. And I'm like, I'm not going further into fucking debt for this fucking storage unit. So it honestly didn't take me that long. We were all hanging out outside. My kids were running around, my wife and kids, so I could like still, you know, kind of be in on the action. But I just took a razor blade and just like cut all the like the parts, you know what I mean? Like just kind of like the seams that were along it until it like split into like the different parts, and just kind of took it apart piece by piece. So it's all but like done. I just have to finish putting the last into trash bags. I just have been lazy. It's been raining off and on too. So like every day I have free, it's raining. So I'm hoping that, well, and then this weekend we're going to be gone. It's going to be raining and we're going to be gone. So I'm hoping that, like, you know, I can get it done. But yeah, it didn't take that much, but it's just a pain in the ass. I'm like, anytime I see a storage unit with couches, I always avoid them anyway. But like this one, yeah, again, I didn't really think I was going to win this storage unit. People have been bidding up fucking units, like shittier units left and right. So I'm like, somebody will bid this up at least to 100. And luckily it didn't get bid up, because I think I had the next higher bid. But yeah, it was just a dumbass fucking, and it was like on the worst possible day. I think I was taking like tests or some shit. I'm finally done with school. I finished last week. I think I did a podcast since then, but I've done fine. I think I did well. I think I got like a B-, not well, but I did a B- in my introduction to computers class, which is crazy because like I was doing really well in that class, and then like I had a bunch of assignments due. I had like 7 assignments due on the last day, And I turned them all in, and like a couple, she like marked a couple of them down, like 5 points here, 10 points there. I'm like, whatever. But then one was like 50 points off. It's like, what the fuck? And I looked, and I like had just like a couple marks. So I thought about reaching out, but I'm like, it really wouldn't. It would bring me from like a B minus to like a B. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I just need to fucking pass. You know what I mean? I'm not going to like any honors program. I'm just trying to make some extra money, on the internet. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. Hold on, let me update you on this. What do you get? Oh, he's got some. Oh, I see. Hold on, sorry. I'm just texting talking about. Gotcha. I thought he was talking about like he bought some sets. Gotcha. Sorry. Yeah, that's fun. He's got some fucking cards to look at, so. But anyway, yeah, the fuck was I just talking about now? See, I just got sidetracked with the cards and shit. I don't even remember. I don't know. Let me just pull up my other shit. Oh, I ended up taking up all my listings down from Depop. I haven't sold anything on there. I remember I did that as like it was almost like a rebellion. I was like a teenager rebelling against their parents. I was like, fuck you, eBay. And I did like a embarrassing post, like moving all my stuff from eBay over to Depop, blah, 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 blah. And then like the amount of clothing I've sold since then, I was like, is it even worth it to sell clothing on eBay? And the amount of clothing I've sold on eBay compared to Depop is just, you know what I mean? Just in the last couple days, I've sold a bunch of fucking clothes. Not even anything crazy. I've sold a couple things for like 15 to 20 to 30. But just nothing, not a single thing sold on Depop. Like I said, when I was putting stuff up and checking like listings and checking sold, a lot of the stuff on the Depop sold stuff was like crazy cheap. Like, average price I saw was like $10 to $15. I mean, that might just have been the stuff I was trying to sell. And like I said, I sold something on eBay. Like I put something up on Depop, hadn't sold after a couple weeks. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll put it up on eBay, and it sold in like a couple days. You know what I mean? So it's just it is what it is. It didn't take me a ton of time. I just basically took all the listings down. I mean, the store's still open. The no fees is nice, but I feel like they probably make you like, pay somehow, some way, like promote it. Or since switching my eBay thing to it's like the 2-day handling. It said like if you switch from 3 to 2-day handling, you should see an increase of like 7% in your sales. And I'd probably say, like last time I checked, it was around 4, but I'd probably say since then I'm at least at 7 or over. It's definitely makes a difference. I've thought about promoting because I see people that are like, yeah, promote. And it's like at this point, I mean, a lot of the stuff, I might just start promoting old stuff because it's like at this point, it's just been sitting there. So I might start doing that, just promoting at like, I don't know, somebody said 9%. But it's like eBay's already taken fucking 15% on top of like, all your store fees and all that shit. It's like now you're going to have to pay another 9%. It just really pisses me off. But if it helps move some product and you're not taking too much of a hit, if it's a couple bucks per sale, but it's just kind of the principle of the thing. My fucking elbow is killing me. I fell down the stairs. What day was it? like yesterday. It had opened yesterday. It was yesterday. And I was bringing down cereal. I had like a bowl of luckily it was dry. I hadn't put milk in it, but I was bringing cereal down the stairs for my kids. And I got like 2 steps before the bottom of the stairs, and somehow I like slipped and, missed a step or something and fell. And at the bottom, at the last step, like the hand railing, it's like, I hate our stairs. It's just been like that since we moved in. So I smashed my elbow like onto that. It's like a hard wood fucking thing. Smashed it. My elbow fucking is killing me right now. It's not like killing me, but it's just, when I lean on it, it hurts. But smashed the shit out of my elbow. Spilled the cereal all over the floor. Just like, somehow I didn't curse. So the cereal's all over the floor. I stop and I'm like, fucking, like, whatever. And my daughter just doesn't even like, could give a fuck less about how I'm doing. She just goes, was that Ivy's cereal? That's her sister. She's like, yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm good. Like, I didn't just fucking break my elbow. I don't think. I definitely have a contusion or something. It fucking hurts. Sorry, I'm like, I've got allergies finally. But yeah, she just doesn't even like, just like, oh, was that my cereal? Like, are you gonna get me more? I think she even asked me that. She was like, is there more cereal? Like, she just could not understand, like, you know what I mean? And it's funny because it's a kid. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's just like a kid's natural reaction. She's not like, being a fucking piece of shit. She's just like, wait, that did look like a lot of cereal just went down on the ground. So I'm kind of worried that there's not enough for me now. And like, that's just the first thing she blurts out. Not like, hey, how you doing? Like, but yeah, that one fucking hurt. I've done that before on that fucking step. That's like not like a fear I have of mine, but that would just, what a way to go. Just because you take those stairs every day, you know what I mean? It's like half the time you're like not paying attention. You're just like trying to get fucking up and down, because we go up and down those fucking things a bunch of times. And I'm just like, man, one of these days. But luckily I'm not like a drinker. I feel like that's how a lot of people die, falling down their stairs. It's like they get drunk and they fucking take a little tumble down the steps. I was talking to these people about their Nintendo. They wanted $150. I gotta do the math. I don't know if I really want to spend $150 on this thing. It's like they had two. They have a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo, and I should have read it before I started talking to them, but I was just like, I'm basically ghosting them right now. But they kind of ghosted me first. Like, it was like they didn't talk to me for like a day, and then they finally got back to me. So I'm like, like, I don't really want to. Like, I threw out a number, thinking like that it was a good number, and then the more I looked at it, I was like, this probably wasn't the best number. I'm probably not gonna make a ton of money. I gotta drive over there. So now they just messaged me like, oh, we'll take your first offer. But it's like one of those things that you gave me too much time to think about it. You should have just fucking taken it originally. You know what I mean? Like, people if you give somebody too much time to think about it, they're going to be like, well, you got to kind of take it strike while the iron is hot. Like, I would have taken that at $150 all day. Like, had they just taken my offer initially, but then I had time to think about it. I'm like, I don't think I want to spend $150 on this video game lot. There's some solid ones in the Super Nintendo lot, because there's like Super Nintendo games, and then she has like the regular Nintendo games. So there's like, a decent amount, but sorry, these allergies are like, but yeah, it was one of those things I would have spent like $150 and made like maybe $200. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to 10 times my money. Try 10 times that shit. But yeah, these fucking allergies. I've never been like, I don't really get a ton of allergies. But occasionally, like, they just pop up, and like, yeah, just the last week, like I wake up in the morning and I like, you know, you cough and you got like that hurt in your chest. It's not like a hurt, but like kind of. It's just kind of like, you know, but it goes away after like an hour. So I get all that shit up. I cough and spit and fucking hack it up, and then like I'm fine. Well, right now I'm a little sniffly, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just fucking allergies. But it's annoying because I was the last one to have allergies fucking pop up this season. My whole family's been struggling all fucking spring, and like 2 weeks before summer, I'm like, ah. So it's getting better. I don't know. Just in the morning, it sucks. And when I'm sitting down, like if I'm sitting down right now, it sucks because I'm trying to talk and it's fucking like, sorry, I'm not going to do that too many times, but you get the idea. Okay. There was like a neighborhood. So Saturday was all right driving around. It ended up being nicer out. So it ended up being like not as shitty as it was supposed to. So it did scare a lot of people off, but there was also like pop-up sales and shit like that. So there was this one neighborhood sale. Like I was on my way out to this other sale, which there's a story at that sale too, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I guess I can kind of lump both stories together. So I'm driving out there to go to this one sale. There's one sale that started at 10, and like I was like, oh, this might be a good one because it's a moving sale, and like, you know, kind of says some of the stuff I'm interested in, and then, you know, so I headed to that sale, but that one wasn't starting until like later on. So I ended up finding like, you know, a couple sales along the way. So I stopped at this one. It's on the side of the road. I'm looking through stuff, and didn't really have anything I wanted or needed or, you know, could resell. And there's a Coach bag. It was like almost brand new. Still had like the, you know, plastic and, you know, paper stuff around the hardware and all that stuff. So it was like brand new. Essentially never been used. Like I'm going to have to sell it as used just because it doesn't, you know, doesn't have any of the other stuff. And so I'm like, oh, how much for this? And she's like 40. And, you know, I've got a Coach bag sitting right now that like, I'm like, I don't think I want to spend 40 on this right now. It's still early in the day. So I just put it down and I didn't really say anything and went on to the next sale. So just put a pin in that sale for now. We'll get back to that sale. So then I leave and I go and I'm driving to this neighborhood sale. And I'm driving around this neighborhood sale. And it's supposed to start at 9. Mind you, I just found it. Like, it wasn't listed or advertised. I just happened to see it while I was driving through there. And so I go in, and I'm just driving around. I'm not finding any houses, nothing. So I'm like, all right, let me go scoot over to do, you know, this other sale. So I went up and drove down to this other sale that was, like, you know, in the same area. It was a whole estate sale, and it was just nothing but glassware. It was not, like, you know, good glassware, just like a bunch of bullshit. So I'm like, all right, let me go back to that sale again. This was at like 9:15 and it was supposed to start at 9. I didn't see a single sale, so I roll back there like 9:15, and then boom, magically there's all these fucking sales popping up. So I'm like, all right, sweet. So I start driving around, and then I start seeing why they all took so long to get started, because it's like they had nothing to set up. Like they just had a couple things. So I'm driving around, and earlier in the day I had thought about this because there's this other lady that, like, you know, runs around looking for sales and shit. And she lives in that area because she's had sales at her house. So I know she lives in that area. So I'm like, man, I haven't seen that lady in forever. I hope I don't fucking run into her. She's a pain in my ass. She's cool. I like fucking with her, but like she used to try to go get video games. One time she like physically was like pushing me. I had the video games in my hand, and I had got to the sale and I asked about the video games, and the lady told me where they were, and she's like tried to run over there to grab them before I did. Like fucking, she's crazy. And I'm like, and the only reason I gave them to her was because it wasn't shit I wanted. The lady wanted way too much money, and like I wasn't trying to cause a scene, but I'm like, I literally walked over, and she runs up from across the sale. I had asked the lady where the video games were. She was telling me where they were, and I had them in my fucking hands, and she like tried to like I almost bought it based on principle, but like I was just like, whatever, like, because we're cool, you know what I'm, not cool, but like, you know. So it was kind of like, was she fucking around or like, you know, it was whatever. She's an annoying fucking lady. So then I'm driving and there's a fucking car blocking the road because these are tight streets. It's like, you know, a beach town kind of. And there's like fucking nowhere to get by this lady. She's just parked, completely blocking that shit. So I'm like, motherfucker, like, oh, hold on, my fucking kid's monitor is dying. So I'm going to shut it off right now, otherwise it's going to be beeping on here. She's passed out. I'm going to have to go charge it up after I'm done with this podcast. So this lady fucking, I'll say her name. I'm not going to say her last name, but her name's like Sue or something like that. And so she's like just completely fucking blocking the road with her car. I'm like, oh my God. So I like, she goes and gets in to move her car, which is like, why didn't you just pull over to the side of the road? Like, you parked in the middle of the road during a yard sale event. Like, you'd go to enough yard sales, you know. And so like, she's like over talking. So she like gets in the car, moves it over, and like, I'm like, hey, you know, I wave and like smile or whatever. And then as soon as she's like not looking, I just did the thing where I'm just like, you fucking bitch, like just under my breath, like, you fucking piece of shit, fucking motherfucker. Like, not even angry, just like, you know, she just annoys me. You know what I mean? She's just like, she's competition-ish, competition adjacent. And so she's like, you know, she's in my way at this point. I'm like, dude, I was just thinking about this bitch. Like, hope I don't run into her because she's annoying as fuck. And then this is what happens. I run into her. So she moves the car and whatever. And so I start cursing and getting all annoyed. And I start, you know, literally saying that shit under my breath. Not under my breath, but just like in the car, like fucking like fuming. And I look over and the lady who's having the sale is just staring at me. Watching me like lose, like what she thinks is like losing my mind, which obviously I wasn't, like, you know, pissed, but I saw her like at the beginning because she saw me like wave and like, oh hi, and then I just launched into like, you fucking piece of shit, fucking bitch, fuck, and then look up and this fucking lady's staring at me, and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna stop at your. I wasn't gonna stop there anyway because they didn't really have any shit I wanted. And that other lady was there. So I was like, I'll go get a head start and go to the next sale. And I'm glad I did because I got there. There's some video game stuff. So I got that. I knew she was going to be asking for that. So she showed up. She's like, oh, you already got the video game stuff, huh? Oh, good for you. Oh, hold on. My dude's here for his music stand. I'm going to fucking be right back. Sorry, I'm back. Just had to run outside. I had somebody coming. It was a guy who was picking up a music stand, one of the ones I got for free. I just completely whiffed on the handshake. I just went to go give him a handshake, and he just wasn't looking. I was just like, okay. Because, you know, what am I going to do in that situation? Be like, hey, put her there. Hey, buddy, don't leave me hanging. So I just kind of put my hand down. Luckily, nobody was there to witness it, but you still feel the shame and embarrassment of just completely, because that's some white guy shit, is like completely fucking up a handshake. You're like, fuck, man. I thought black guys were going to think I was cool. No, they're not. But he was telling me, because I was like, oh, are you a teacher or something, like a music teacher? He was like, oh, actually, I'm starting to learn how to play the drums. He was like, I'm 68 years old. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I didn't say fuck yeah, but I was like, oh, that's awesome, man. It's never too old to learn some shit. I didn't say that. You know, I don't like to curse in front. I don't curse in front of people I don't know, because you never know. You know what I mean? Some people, I'm not that guy. Some people are like, they'll just start, you know, this, fuck that, you know. I say, by the amount of cursing I do on this podcast, you would think that I'm just like never stop cursing in my day-to-day. But it's not the case. I'm not a big fucking, I mean, I do say fuck a lot when I'm like, you know, having adult conversations. Obviously, when I'm having a drink or two, it kind of fucking, you know, snowballs. But it's also, it's a good word while you're kind of thinking and trying to gather your thoughts. Like, fucking, you know. But, like, yeah, you would think that I curse all the time. I think I've talked about this before. It would be weird if I just was sitting there cursing in front of my kids all day. Like, fuck you, kids. But anyway, yeah, this old dude just picked up a fucking music stand. That's always awesome. I love those free Facebook. They'll just pop over. And, like, most of them are boomers, to be honest with you. That's mostly what uses Facebook. His boomers, just fucking old motherfuckers. But anyway, back to that sale. So, got sidetracked a little bit. The one with the annoying fucking lady, Susan. And she, she like, so she gets there, like starts looking at my pile and shit and whatever. And they had some blow molds there, which I was pretty pumped about. So I got a couple blow molds, and then they had a bunch of jerseys. And the guy's price, he was like asking like $60. He had like a Patrick Mahomes. It was like a special edition, like the military ones. It was brand new with the tag, so he's asking like $60, which like isn't a bad price, but it also kind of looked fake. And like all of the jerseys were signed, and they had the JSA authentication or whatever. Which I've gotten the ones from those authentication companies. They're usually kind of shitty. Like I got a Hulk Hogan one time, and then like I found out afterwards that Hulk Hogan shit is like a dime a dozen. They're like, yeah, you can get that shit anywhere. So like I barely made any money on it. But he had a bunch of those like jerseys. I didn't know a single fucking person of any of the jerseys. Like I've no obscure players, certain obscure players. These were like, I was like, who the fuck are any of these people? Why would you ever buy these jerseys? So I don't know if he ever had like a company or something, but that was like the only good sale in the whole neighborhood. So I got a few things there, and then she had like a box of Starbucks tumblers. And so she wanted like 2 for $5 on her. I just threw out a price. I was like, would you do like $10 for the box? And she said, yeah. So I was like, fuck yeah. So I grabbed that for a Whatnot auction. There's got to be like 20 to 25 of them, maybe less. Probably less. Probably like 10 to 20 of them. So I'll probably do that for a Whatnot auction soon. I know I've been slacking on my Whatnots. It's just hard because I want to schedule them in advance, but like scheduling shit in advance right now is like, summer honestly is probably going to be easier because we've got all our shit already planned out. Like our first 2 months are already planned for summer. Like this weekend we're doing some shit, and then the next weekend. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I'm like, oh, I want to do it, and then I remember the day that I have time, and I'm like, well, if I post this now, nobody's gonna see it, and it's gonna be almost nobody gonna come to this stream. So I need to just pick a time when I'm not gonna be, tired, or I need to motivate myself to not be tired. So I'm hoping that soon, this summer we can start doing them more consistently, because I still have a bunch of Bratz dolls that I want to do. Yeah. I just found like a random toy that I sold for like $100. It's just been sitting. In the past a couple of weeks, I found like $100, $150 in gold, $100 in toys. Just like, and I thought I had gone through all my shit. It's just stuff that's sitting. Like I have bins of stuff that's just like sitting that I've been slowly going through. And so like I pulled this shit out, and I was just like, let's see how much this is worth. I'm like, oh fuck. It's just been sitting here collecting dust. So yeah, anyway, back to some other topics. Let me pull out my little phone here. I have a ton of stuff. Oh yeah. Okay. So let me get back to it. So I go to that neighborhood sale, grab a few things. I head out to another sale, go to this other sale, and that sale was like kind of a massive disappointment. For some reason, let me see what this sale was, because for some reason I was thinking that it was going to be a good sale, and then it just wasn't. Let me see. Oh yeah, so I just didn't go to some of these sales because they were like kind of a long way to go, and it was kind of like later in the day. So anyway, so I leave that neighborhood sale, and I go and find a couple other sales. I'm driving around, and my yard sale buddy calls me, and he's like, oh, have you found anything, this, that, or the other? And he tells me he's going to stop at this sale. It was the sale that had the Coach purse from earlier in this podcast. And so I was like, hey, there was a Coach purse at the sale that I had asked about. I was like, they wanted $40 for it. I was like, I would do $20, if they'll take it. obviously, I'll give you the money or whatever. So he gets there and he sends me a picture. And for whatever reason, the picture that he sent me, I was like, what? I was like, what are... Hold on, where is it? He sent me a picture, and it didn't look like... Yeah, so he sends me a picture, and it's not. It wasn't. Okay, so these are even more purses than they had. So anyway, he sends me a picture and like these two purses, and it's not... I think he was at a different sale, man. Like, I think this guy was at a completely different sale. So he sends me this picture of these two purses, and I'm like, that's not... I'm like, yeah, that's not it. Like, that's neither one of them are it. And so he's like, all right, well, I didn't grab them, whatever. They wanted like $20 a piece for the purses that he showed me, and I was like, I don't even remember seeing those. But anyway, I'm like, whatever. So the next day, I'm going out and I'm driving around. And I was going to look for... So there was a one sale that was like supposed to be somewhere in there was two names that were similar. So I was looking for one of the names that was similar. And like somehow I ended up driving past this sale that had the Coach purse the last time. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'm already over here. Like, let me just go see if they have the Coach purse. So as soon as I park, I see the Coach purse. So I'm like, this motherfucker was not at this sale. Like, I could see the shit from the street. So I go over, and she's like, and she doesn't remember me, but I'm like, how much you got on this Coach purse? So yes, the day before they had said 35 or 40. So this day they're like, we'll do 35. So $5 off the price from the day before. So I was like, would you do... And so then, and she's like, and the other one, she's like, the other one's Coach too. And there was another black bag right next to it that I didn't even realize was Coach. I just thought it was like a cheap tote bag. Like, sometimes Coach bags can not like look cheap, but like, they don't look like anything, unless you see the Coach logo. So it was a Wizard of Oz bag. So I was like, Wizard of Oz stuff is, again, same type of like kind of a dime a dozen. They've made so much fucking stuff that like some of it's very valuable and collectible. Some of it's just not. And so she says that. She's like, it's a Coach and Wizard of Oz. So as soon as she says that, like a lot of times collaborations can be big money. So I'm like, because they're limited to time. It's got two fan bases crossing over. So I look the tag. I'm like, sure enough, it says Coach. So she's got that Coach bag and the original Coach bag that I was interested in. So she's saying 35. So I go, would you do 20 each on these if I buy two of them? And so they're like kind of looking. She's like, would you do 50? So like 50, 25 a piece rather than the 35. So 10 off each. So I was like, deal, I'll do that. $50 all day. So I looked up the Wizard of Oz one. It looks like it sells for around 150 to 180. I don't think there was any listed. There might be. This was a couple days ago. I always forget. So I got the pictures taken of it, but like the way I take a bunch of pictures and have them in my phone, so that way I can go down through a list, and then like, that way I try not to miss shit. I'm very unorganized. I'm not an organized person. I've never been taught how to be organized. To me, like being organized takes too much time. And I try. I really try. But it's just hard for me to be. Some people are just organized. Some people are just disorganized. And I thrive in the disorganization, baby. That's my wheelhouse. I'm actually running out of time. I've got like 11 minutes, and I don't think I have enough time to talk about everything. So some of this stuff might carry over to next week. Again, another episode of me not smoking weed. And I've got to tell you, I think I'm better at podcasting when I'm not high. I mean, sometimes I can do it. I feel like if I have enough things to talk about and if I've got enough energy, but like, yeah, sometimes it can be a detriment to things that I do. So it's not always sunshine and fucking flowers, as they would say. Anyway, so I showed up at sale. So Friday actually was a pretty good day. There was my wife was off, so like those days are decent. When there's a sale, when my wife is off on like a Friday, it's cool because like I can get there early. So there's a couple other sales. So I went to like this one sale, and then there was another sale starting at 9 that was not advertised at all. Like she did not advertise it any which way. I just found it because I'm a psycho. And so I showed up, and I wasn't even like early for this one. I showed up at 8:56. I remember looking because I like parked. Showed up at 8:56, and the sale started at 9. And so like I got out and I start walking up, and I see that they have caution tape up, not letting people in. And I'm like, all right, there's nobody else there waiting for the sale. And so I just walk up and I'm like, hi, morning. And I'm like, you guys start at 9, right? Just to confirm, because it's just about 9. And she goes, that's what the sign says. And she points to it. And I go, oh, just checking because it's just about 9. And she goes, yeah, I know. We're not ready. We'll be ready. And I'm like, okay. Like, she was a fucking bitch. And she said some shit like, yeah, we'll be ready when we're ready or some shit. And so, like, I'm waiting. And then so 9 o'clock hits, nobody's still there. They still haven't opened. I'm glad I didn't. The only reason I stayed, too, because I wasn't going to stay, is I could see, it was right in front of me. Like, I could fucking reach over and touch it. It was a set of, like, the vintage 70s, the Sears, like, the Merry Mushroom stuff, like, the mushroom canisters and shit. So it was one of those sets. It had a ton of pieces in it. I couldn't see the price, so I'm like, wondering if it's worth it. And again, it's 4 minutes waiting for it to come back. And so as soon as 9 o'clock hit, I wanted so bad to just be like, hey, your sign says 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, just reverse that shit that she did on me. Like, that's what the sign says, 9 o'clock. Just be like, hey, your sign says 9 o'clock. That's what you just said to me. You said your sign says 9 o'clock. So I'm going by your sign. You're supposed to be open. But anyway, the dude that's with her comes over and he opens everything up. It was like 3 minutes after 9. I didn't complain, whatever. And so I walk immediately, like take 2 steps, flip the top over to the Merry Mushroom stuff, and it's like $5 for the complete set. So I'm like, hey, can I throw this aside because I'm gonna buy, definitely gonna buy it. So I start a pile. I'm starting to like, walk around. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff. Then they had a bunch of like sealed new old stock T-shirts. So those were the T-shirts that I got. I got like, I think it was like $20 worth. She said $2. There was like 10. I think she only charged me $20, but it was like, I think I got like 13 or 14 of them. And again, I've already sold like 3 of those and made back most of my money from that sale. And then I just got like a couple odds and ends. There was a couple Seiko watches that were like brand new, old stock. But I've got to get like some watch fucking batteries to test all this shit. And so then, actually, let me fucking put that in my cart right now. I was like, think about that, and then I keep forgetting to buy watch batteries. And I need a new ring light. My fucking ring light's broken. Somebody broke it. I'm not going to fucking say who, but watch batteries. Oh, shit. Shit. I just want to put this in my search. I always do that because otherwise I'll forget. I don't really use Amazon anymore. Fuck Amazon. Anyway. So I started to be like really nice to that lady. And I think she felt bad for being a fucking dick to me because I was only there 4 minutes early. You know what I mean? And then I thought about it afterwards and I was like, maybe she thought I was like being a fucking dick, like rushing her. You know what I mean? That's not what I was doing. I was just like, it's not just about 9, like confirming, like, because sometimes people forget. They're like, oh, it's like they think it's a lot earlier. So I was like, I didn't want you to think I was there like fucking 2 hours early. I was like, it was like 4 minutes before you opened. You know what I mean? That's normally. And so, but yeah, their prices were crazy. It was like, I got that thing for $5, which is like, $300-400 set, whatever, how much ever. If I feel like dealing with it on eBay, I'll probably get a little bit more on eBay, but I don't know if I feel like dealing with that. So I've got it on Marketplace right now. I haven't had any interest yet, but Marketplace is weird. Like once the weekend hits, that's when Marketplace, like I get messages on stuff that's been sitting from the week. And so, yeah, I think I spent like $60 there on everything. And again, I've already made my money back on a few of the t-shirt sales that I've done. But yeah, it was just funny. It just kind of goes to show you, like, I wanted so, but like the old me would have been a fucking dick. You know what I mean? I walked back to my car. I had to walk away for a minute. I went back to look to pretend that I had a bag in my car to go look for it. I didn't have a bag because I took my wife's car that day. And yeah, I went and I was like fucking steaming mad. I was like, I just need to walk away from this bitch. And I just was like, you know what? Just fucking relax, whatever. And she was like, she said something about how she's like, yeah, it's just so overwhelming. And it's like, no, I get it. But you were kind of a fucking bitch, lady. But yeah, it was like 4 minutes earlier. That's the craziest. Like, I know people are like weird about the like early birds sometimes, but man, when they have the caution tape up, that's when you're like, oh fuck. But yeah, some of the stuff was crazy expensive too. It was like some stuff was really cheap, and then some of the stuff was like crazy expensive. You're like, what the fuck? Where are you coming up with this pricing? Like, you've got these crazy vintage things for like pennies on the dollar, and then you're trying to sell new old stock. Like, I found like an new old stock Tide thing, so I grabbed it because I know sometimes that stuff can go for some money. This one only goes for like $40, but still, I mean, it's profit at this point. So, but yeah, I just thought that was funny. That whole interaction started off, it was like she was a fucking bitch, and then softened up a little bit, and then yeah. All right, and then finally, I'll tell this one. I had this lady. She was like, I had met her at a yard sale, and she was like telling me, she's like, oh yeah, I've got a ton of stuff in the house and like in the garage, and she kind of smelled like alcohol. But I was like, whatever. Maybe she's hungover. This is at like 8:00 in the morning, or whatever, 8:30. And so she's still kind of bringing stuff out. I didn't really find much there. It's like a lot of junk. And she's just bringing stuff out and like, and so then somehow it comes up that there's stuff in the house. And she's like, oh, I bought this house as is. And like, I got all the stuff that was in the house with it. And so this other old lady was there, and like I was talking to her, and we started chatting because there was like one box left to look through. I'd gone through everything, and I was just kind of waiting. And she was next to that box, but she wasn't looking through it. So I was just like, I politely was like, hey, am I going to be in your space if I'm looking through this box? And she was like, no. Thank you for asking. So we started talking and chit-chatting. She's like, boy, I'd love to get in that house. And I was like, well, I'll ask. So I asked the lady if we could take a look. And so she's like, oh, you can go look in the garage, blah, blah, blah. So we look, and there's not really anything I want in the garage. But she's like, if you want to come back, you can come back and look in the house. I've got some PlayStation games. I know I've got like, So I'm like, all right, cool. So we plan on the next day. So I text her, confirm. She's like, yeah, come like 1:00. My husband will take you around the property, this, that, and the other. So I get there at like, I'm going there at 1, and I check my Facebook before I go anywhere. I check just to see if there's any free piles, this, that I could swing by. And she posts a free pile, or it's like, she gave me the name of like Rebecca or something like that. And the person who posted it had another name. So I'm like, all right, well, that's kind of crazy. There's a free pile there, so I'll take a look, see if there's anything new. It was literally all the same stuff that was there the day before in the free pile. And so she's like, oh, I'll take you in because my husband's doing some shit. So she takes me in the house, and as soon as I walk in, I see a stack of like Polly Pocket toys, and I just had a feeling they weren't for sale. I'm like, I know these aren't for sale. I asked, and then, of course they weren't, but I knew they weren't. So she takes me in the back, and she's like, yeah, there's a whole cabinet of VHS here. So I'm looking through the VHS. And I want to look at like the other stuff, but she didn't seem like she wanted me to look at it. And then she shows me the PlayStation games, and like it wasn't even worth it for me to take these games just like for free. And then there was a PlayStation 1 console. I should have asked about that. I forgot, because it was just such a ridiculous situation. I should have just asked about that, but then I forgot because we got sidetracked. And at this point, she's visibly drunk, like, because the day before was like early, and it was like, oh, she smells like booze, but she could be hungover. You never know. And this time she was definitely fucking hammered, right? And so she comes outside, and like, mind you, they had posted a free pile, and some lady's there like trying to get something from the free pile, and she's trying to charge her $1, and the lady's like, I got this from the free pile. And she's like, oh, what free pile? I don't know. I don't have a free pile. Like, this lady was fucking hammered. So I didn't end up getting anything from the house. But yeah, so she ended up giving the lady the thing for free. She like could not comprehend that she had a free pile. I almost told her, but I thought it'd be funnier like if people just kept showing up being like, I'm here for your free shit. So I don't know if the friend just did it, like if the friend was drunk too. There was 2 friends there. Or there was one friend there with her this time, but like I don't know, but like she was definitely drunk. They had a bunch of kids running around. And like I walk up to the pile and I hate fucking having to interact with kids at a sale. They like just run up and start talking to you, and I'm like, dude, I have my own fucking kids to talk to. I don't need to deal with your fucking bullshit. Just keep it walking. I don't want any of your shitty lemonade. I don't want. I'm not making YouTube videos here, okay? I don't need to fucking like grease the wheels of content by fucking giving little kids extra money for shit they don't deserve. I'm sorry I said it. I still want to make t-shirts that say fuck them kids and have a lemonade stand with a cross behind it, like a red circle with a red slash through it. So if you see those t-shirts anywhere, that's fucking my idea. You heard it here on this podcast like a year ago first. Anyway, that's an hour. I actually have a bunch more stuff to talk about, but I'll save it for next week. So that's the podcast. And yeah, make sure you tell your friends, subscribe, and then we'll be back next week for another episode. Thanks, bye.